Hi, this is Nancy Rowe. I'm talking today about the meetings, speeches, and news conferences. And you'll notice that when you're taking an online course, we don't get any snow days, do we? I guess there's the disadvantage. I like to think that meetings, speeches, and news conferences are just one type of beat, as we discussed in the last chapter, but a beat with a live audience. The same principles pretty much apply when they're preparing to report on such an event. There's preparation, of course, lots of preparation always, preparation and accuracy. The reporter must still do his or her homework. The preparation is obviously a key to doing a good job. And in the case of these events, you might one of the sources you might use more often might be old newspapers, going back through old newspapers, as much as historical sources, the regular source historical sources. You must identify the key figures that are going to be present, or either speaking or participating in a meeting. And in a news conference, since you may not know exactly what is going to be discussed, you will need to get as much information around the speaker, perhaps, as you can. And in a meeting, you may want to contact someone and get an agenda ahead of time, so you will be prepared as to what they're going to talk about. Now, I noticed that they suggested that you consult your editor this time. I don't think that was done in the beat section, but this would be, since this is a timely event, your editor might have specific information that he or she wants you to get when you're there. And if you are normally a print reporter and you're going to have to working with some recording devices, you will definitely want to practice those ahead of time. Something always goes wrong, right? Murphy's Law. And I think one of the differences in this than a beat might be that you're planning to cover the whole event, not just the speech or the meeting or the conference. You're going to get there early. You're going to sit so that you can see not only the speaker, but you can see the audience, because they'll be part of what you report. And you will pay attention to the audience, and you will pay attention to all the participants, and you will note down anything that's unusual. Pay attention to the behavior of everyone there. If points are raised that are controversial, you'll want to notice: is the audience friendly, or are they belligerent? Is what's being said humorous? Those are points that will make your story, when you write it, perhaps more interesting. Now, if the event is a speech, you will want to get some exact quotes for your article. And this is where really good note-taking or a recorder of some device is essential, because you'll want to pay attention to exactly what is said. In the event of a news conference, I noticed that Mr. Patrick Pierce, in our textbook, he suggested that you don't be afraid to ask the tough questions. Well, sometimes the tough questions are what makes a really good reporter, I guess. But I don't imagine you make too many friends that way. But and as the advice in our Beats chapter, be persistent. And again, that's something that sometimes causes a little friction between the reporter and who's being reported upon. Now, when you do get to writing up your event, lead with the important bit of newsworthiness first, and then treat the other points in order of importance, as we learned on our chapter in the inverted pyramid, and make sure that you are correct in all your spelling, correct names, particularly names are extremely important to make sure that you've gotten them exactly right, and as is any action that is taken by the group. If that is important, that will be very important that you get this correct, because that's what your readers are looking for. I really enjoyed this chapter. It made me pay much more attention to what's going on around the event and to the reporter's job. So and also when you're watching on TV and you see a reporter reporting on something, you'll want to check and see whether that reporter has followed the advice of our chapter. So, as the White House reporters say, thank you, Mr. President. Bye.